This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. Straight up.
Hello, I'm Danielle Lerner with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. Let's start with the COVID-19 vaccination headlines. Starting tomorrow, a second state vaccine hub will be up and running. Phoenix Municipal Stadium set up and ready to get hundreds of Arizonans vaccinated each day. Appointments are booked up through the end of February. The state says they may open more as more doses become available. Also this week, a third vaccine could be approved for use. Johnson & Johnson is seeking authorization from the FDA for their single-dose vaccine, ready to ship them out as soon as they get the green light. It all comes as we see concerns about supply growing. Governor Doug Ducey on national TV this morning saying we could be getting more people vaccinated if our state had more doses. Meantime, the state of education still in flux as schools navigate all of the challenges brought on by COVID-19. But this week, we'll get a better idea of how the legislature could help students and families rebound. State Superintendent Kathy Hoffman set to deliver her annual State of Education address Tuesday afternoon. In it, she'll lay out the impact of the pandemic on students and schools and push for policies she feels lawmakers should prioritize this session. Issues like school funding, specifically addressing the funding shortfalls many districts are now facing due to the rise in online learners. Other priorities include pausing the A through F school grading system, increasing teacher retention and recruitment, and providing maximum flexibility for state testing assessments in the spring. Now, even with all the uncertainty surrounding education this school year, teachers and students all across our state marked a big milestone this past week. This is how students at Ignite Learning Academy rang in their 100th day of school. From 100 pieces of cereal for Fruit Loop necklaces to dressing like centenarians, that's been a popular one. These virtual classrooms found plenty of creative ways to celebrate. Want to thank Kelly for sending these in to us. Well, yet another stimulus showdown in Washington. A group of Republican senators now asking to meet with President Joe Biden, proposing an economic relief plan of their own. A letter from 10 senators outlines their priorities after many expressed concerns over the nearly $2 trillion price tag of the president's bill. Here's the breakdown of those two plans. Both include $160 billion for vaccines and testing. The big difference, though, is stimulus checks. Republicans urging a more targeted approach. Biden's top economic official says they'll review it. Since Democrats hold the majority, though, they could get something passed with budget reconciliation, meaning a relief bill could pass without Republican support. Several developing stories we're following around the valley, including a standoff that ended with one person being shot and killed by deputies. This happened Saturday at the Scottsdale Plaza Resort. Paradise Valley PD says they were serving a search warrant when the suspect barricaded himself in a room there. Officers called for help from Maricopa County Sheriff's SWAT team. They tried to get the person to come out, but hours later, that person would not. That's when the SWAT team went in. Deputies say the person threatened them with a gun, and that's when they opened fire. The person died at the scene. Authorities have not yet identified that person or said what the initial investigation was about. Chandler police now investigating after finding two men dead in a car. This happened near McQueen and Germain. Officers say they were doing a welfare check when they found those two people shot and killed. They haven't said what led up to it, but officers say they don't believe that there's any sort of threat to the public.
With your most accurate forecast, I'm meteorologist Jorge Torres. We are expecting a cloudy start to February across Arizona, with mid to high clouds coming in from the south and west, and maybe a few sprinkles in northwestern parts of the state, but not much in the way of rain chances until later this week. So your forecast for Monday, starting for temperatures in the 50s in the valley at 6 in the morning, climbing to the 70s at noon, and our highs will be in the mid 70s once again, calling for a high of 75 officially at Sky Harbor, 76 in Tucson, 73 in Yuma, and in northern parts of the state tomorrow. Highs will be in the 40s from Flagstaff to the Grand Canyon, and 50s along the rim and central parts of the state too. Upper 50s in Sedona and Payson. So here's that 7-day forecast. Even warmer on Tuesday with a high of 78 degrees. There's a slight chance for showers Wednesday and only about 20% now on Thursday. It will be cooler though, with highs in the 60s Thursday through next weekend with some breezes as well. But it does appear that main storm is not going to pack us much of a punch. But ahead of that, still warm with highs in the 70s.
This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. Straight up.